The 2020 pandemic has left 575,000 people dead in the United States. That number is approximately now 3 million dead worldwide. This is tragic and sad and devastating. Certainly, all of these people have left behind someone they loved and loved them back. So imagine for just a moment the amount of grief pouring into every society around the world, the impending grief ripple effect, and the impact it will have on everyone. What experts are saying is that for every person who died, there are at least 9 newly bereaved. What's lost in this entire conversation is the unbearable grief of millions who have been left orphaned or widowed, which is estimated to be nearly 2 million new widows and an unknown amount of fatherless kids in just 1 year. The fact is, more men have died than women worldwide. COVID-19 has been a widow-making machine, and all of us, we must become the counterbalance, a hope-making machine. Hope that is aligned with a higher purpose, grounded with knowing better and doing better, and by staying connected to others, the power of one. This is something I know a little bit about. I was a young widow when I lost my husband. I can empathize with these women and those families who are suddenly one day in a club they never chose to be in, and instead they must face each day courageously in a world they do not recognize themselves and coping every step of the way. I channeled that grief to help other women grieve well. And to date, we have served over 50,000 widowed women around the world of all ages and backgrounds. But if the truth be told, the true number is unknown and probably much higher. Every day in my life, I talk to people about difficult life moments, things like losing a partner, a parent, a child, a job, a dream, home, and security. But that wasn't always the case. I have listened to actual grievers and watched what actually works to comfort them. So here are some of the practical and wise insights they have taught me. They turned out to be pretty powerful building blocks of resilience. Insight number 1, there are 3 powerful and rare words you could say when comforting someone through grief. And these words give them permission to grieve and show how much you care and love them. Those words are, tell me more. But before you say these words, let me warn you and prepare you, because this is going to be a much longer conversation than normal because of the openness and the vulnerability that actually is needed. They deeply crave this. You have to think marathon, not sprinter. Just let the time slip away and lean into this moment of active listening. You might learn something important. The second insight, now that you've settled into this Tell Me More conversation, it's time to practice holding space. And what is that, you ask? Well, it's just another word for being present and putting your phone away. But don't worry, this is not going to take forever. No matter what your brain is telling you or the panic that you might feel, you're probably going to say some strange things. I've heard comments like, I really enjoyed reading his obituary. You are such a good writer. And I've also heard, I'm at a loss for words. Take it from me. Being at a loss for words is a better choice here. This is a time to actively listen. I can't stress that enough. You see, it's only when our feelings rise up that they can move through and out of us. This helps us to prepare to receive the new that will come in. One of my favorite quotes is, suffering is lessened when shared. So let someone hold on to your grounded hope as you actively listen. This third insight I have for you is probably the simplest of all. Bring your smile. This helps to alleviate anxiety, boost your moods, and increase your endurance. It's hard to smile gently when you are hearing such hard things. I get it, but it is possible. A smile is contagious, and death can make a person's joy harder to access. But with a smile, it can lead to humor and can be a sweet release. There's a saying in the grief world, what's the most important thing you've done this week? I survived. Your response can be, yes, you did, with a smile of encouragement that is so meaningful for both of you. Laughter and tears are often the ingredients of great strides of healing. Okay, insight number 4. So now it's time to soothe yourself in the midst of this overwhelming conversation in which you will feel like running away, because you may start to feel like your own emotions on edge, and this is completely normal. But here's what you can do right now. You can take 3 deep breaths that will activate the calming centers of your parasympathetic nervous system. It works. The other is quite fascinating. You can take the palm of your hand and place it on the back of your neck, which will cause the body to relax, activating the first developmental memories of being soothed and cuddled like an infant. This works remarkably well, and no one has to know that you're doing it. So take your 3 deep breaths, touch the back of your neck, and keep going. And my last insight may be most misunderstood and certainly under-researched, but important to know. Understanding the powerful difference between bereavement and believement is the same difference between grief and growth. The mindset in which you approach this conversation with a griever is very different than any other kind of communication. For one, they are experiencing their loss physically as bereavement. You are experiencing their loss mentally as believement. Let me explain. They are in a time of physical and emotional shock, disbelief, battling with their active emotions. It's unbelievable, and yet it's still very much alive for them. Grievers do not know that they are between these 2 worlds of bereavement and believement, grief and growth. That comes slowly, but you are comforting them. This is why you are so important. You are the bridge that allows them to walk in that direction. It's your empathy, compassion, unconditional love, non-judgment, and grace that are the bricks upon which that bridge is built. Thank you.